This video will demonstrate how to use the Photomerge feature in Photoshop to merge several photos together into one. Let me open up a folder here to show you that I've shot some photographs vertically. I turned the camera vertical, and then I panned to the right and shot another shot to include more of the building, and another shot. Panning to the right, I kept shooting another shot to include more of the buildings. So we're going to merge these shots together into one big photograph. To do that, we are going to open Photoshop and come up to File on the menu bar at the top, click it, hover over Automate, come over here and click on Photomerge. That's our feature right there. This is the Photomerge window. We're going to leave the layout on Auto, and we are going to blend the images together, so have that check mark checked in that checkbox. They are files, and we're going to browse to those images that I just showed you. We're going to scroll down to 8330. Here's 8330. Then I'm going to hold down the control button right now and click the second photograph. Keep holding control down and click on each one of the photos that you want to include, and then click OK. And here are all 8 of the images that I want to include. Remember, it's on Auto, blend images together. Just click OK and wait for the magic to happen. You see a spinning wheel. As this is coming in, it might take a few seconds or it might take a couple of minutes depending on the file size of each one of those photographs. You see a progress bar, and this one is aligning the layers. The amount of time it takes also depends on the number of photographs and how good your computer is. All of those things are factors. Here's a progress bar that says blend selected layers based on content. Now, if you're shooting these pictures with the intention of merging them together with Photomerge in Photoshop, you might want to consider having your camera on manual exposure, which means manual aperture and shutter speed and ISO, where you set each of those settings yourself. And you might even want manual focus so that each of the photographs has the exact same exposure and focus. You won't have any mismatched colors and things. Here we are. So it has merged those 8 photographs together. And I see that we have a layer here for each one of those 8 photographs. The very first thing I'm going to do is come up to Layer and come down to Flatten Images, Flatten Image. I'm going to click it, and it flattens those layers into one. It is now one photograph, but we don't want all this blank space and all of the warp. So I'm going to do some correcting here. The first thing I'm going to correct is leveling the horizon. So I'm on my crop tool here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce this down. I'm going to reduce down the canvas and come back in here with our crop tool so that I can show you that if I come outside of the canvas area, I've got that bent arrow with an arrowhead on each end, and I'm going to hold down the left mouse button, and it added that grid there, but I'm still holding the left mouse button down. I'm going to drag it down a little bit, and you see the whole picture sort of skewed a little bit. I think I've got the horizon pretty well leveled. If you look through the center of the word Toronto, you see the white concrete pavement is right up next to that grid line. So I'm going to let go of the mouse button, and then I'm going to come in here and right click and crop, and that takes care of the leveling of the horizon. The next thing I want to correct is the perspective of these buildings. These are warped like this because I was standing on the ground aiming my camera up a little bit to include all of the buildings. If I had been up mid-level height, they wouldn't be warped like that. But we want to correct it by using lens correction. It's actually perspective control. That's what Nikon calls it anyway. We're going to come up to filter on the menu bar up here and click it. And we're going to come down to lens correction right here. I could have done Shift Control R, but I'm old school. I'm just going to click lens correction. And I'm waiting for the picture to come in here. And I'm going to come up to custom and click it. And then I'm concerned with the vertical perspective. Now I've already done this, so I know that I need to go to the left to correct that vertical perspective. Let's go back to 0 here for a second. I want to show you that you see the word snacks right here? The S is going to get cut off as we correct the perspective. So it's a toss-up, really. Do you want the word snacks to be intact, or do you want the buildings to have better perspective control here? And I've decided that I like the buildings to be straight up and down, or mostly straight up and down, a better perspective, because most people aren't even going to notice this. They might notice if this guy in the red shirt is cut in half. He's not. He's only got his, I guess that would be his right arm. It's on our left, but that's cut off. Yeah, so what? Let's click OK. And now we are going to use the crop tool again. And I'm going to get rid of some of this blank area down here. I don't want to cut this man in half. I don't want to mess up the word nax or iax or whatever it says right about now. That looks good. I cut off that. So I'm going to right click and crop. Now what about this big blank area at the top? We're just going to use fill here, and to do that we're going to come up to the polygonal lasso tool, and we're going to click it, and we're going to make sure this is on add to selection. Then I don't want to be in the white blank space up there, and I don't want to be anywhere near this jagged edge here. I want to be away from the edge and outside of the white area. So what I'm going to do is click right here, and I'm going to come down to about here and here, and I'm clicking in various spots. I want to avoid that roof, and I want to avoid that jagged edge right there. So I'm going to come to about there, then I'm going to come over here and down a little bit, then up, and like that, over to here, and straight up. I think I clicked there, and straight over here. All right, so now we're going to fill in that blank area. We're going to come up to Edit and Fill. And here is our fill window. You want to make sure you've got color adaptation checked. Mode is normal, opacity 100%. Here's the important part. The contents need to be on content aware. So click OK and it will fill that space. Wow, it did a great job of filling the space. Now I can come up to select and deselect. I have a little bit of correction to take care of in the upper right corner, but what I'm going to do is use the clone stamp tool for that, and I'm going to come here and use my right bracket key to make my clone stamp tool a little bit bigger, and I'm going to hold down the Alt button, click here, and click there a few times. Maybe one more time. Okay, that looks good. We're ready to save this guy. This is 8 photographs merged together. So what we're going to do is come up to File and Save As, and I'm going to save it on my computer, but you see it wants to save it as a PSD. I don't like any of these file formats, so what I should do is come over here and right click on that layer and flatten the image again, then come back to File, Save As, save on my computer, and now I have JPEG, and I'm going to click Save, and there we go. We are now, the image is now saved. Very good. That's how you use the Photomerge feature in Photoshop. Please click like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.